Alrighty. So I think it's the first time I've ever done four shows in 1 week, but that's how it
Oh,
goes.
four?
It was supposed to be three, but once you interview one hockey player, his roommate says, I want to come on too. But today I am joined by, or tonight, I am joined by Romney Bryant, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, uh, CFLer. But I remember watching the Bombers almost 20 years ago, and we are the same age. We are a few months apart.
Oh, wow.
I'm in May and you're in December, and you know what? If you blink, you miss, right? And it's hard to believe it's been this long. But
Yeah, that is hard to believe. You just told my age a little bit.
yeah, I did, but it's it's how it goes. But maybe kind of take us back to how you got into football and some time in the CFL, and then yeah, your time in particular with the Bombers, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Oh, yeah. So, how I got into football is first, my father introduced it to me when I was young,
Hmm.
but uh, but he ended up going to prison. So, I took a break from football when I was little. And when I was in the seventh grade,
Hmm.
I went to go live with my aunt and uncle. And they kind of just told me, if you live in this household, you have to play sports.
Yeah.
So I got back to playing football again, and then the rest was history. So I played high school ball, college ball, and then I was in the NFL for 3 years. And once I was done with the NFL, or I can't say that, once the NFL was done with me, that's when I ended up with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 2008. And I loved it there. I played with Milt, and
Hmm.
he's one of the goats up there.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting experience. It was better than I thought it would be, to be
And,
honest with you.
and so why was that? I mean, I remember that year the Bombers were in a bit of a struggle, and then you guys came back. I think you guys finished 8-10, eventually losing to Edmonton in the crossover.
Yeah.
Uh, but what were kind of your first impressions of the CFL and Winnipeg as a whole?
Well, my impressions before I got there, I knew very little about the CFL.
Hmm.
So, if I'm being honest, I didn't think the gameplay would be as good as it was. And then when I got there, I mean, these guys were NFL caliber type guys.
Yeah.
They were. And I played against guys like Brandon Browner
Yeah.
and Cam Wake or whatever, those
Cameron
guys
Wake.
who,
Yeah.
yeah, who ended up in the NFL and sticking around for a long time.
Yes.
So clearly these guys are good enough to be in the NFL. So my first impression was like, oh, this is not far off from the NFL. And it might even be, I wouldn't say harder, but it's with the ratio, half the guys have to be from Canada, half the guys have to be from the US, or not have to be, but half the guys have to be at least Canadian, correct?
Hmm.
And then the other half has to be US. So depending on the ratio, they can work against you as an American.
Yeah.
So that made it, in my mind, made it tougher because, like, if there's a Canadian who's just as good as you, then they might go that route because they might want an American somewhere else.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. And you think of RJ Franklin was on that team.
Yeah,
So
my guy.
right. I was at a wedding that game, but he had his touchdown, I think versus Edmonton, and you guys just mobbed him after that, I believe. That was
Yeah, yeah,
fun.
yeah. His first CFL touchdown, right? For the
Yeah.
career. We went crazy for my guy. Yeah, I talked to RJ probably like a week or two ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I still keep up with RJ. I keep up with a few guys there. I talk to Milk every so often. I talk to
Okay.
RJ.
Yeah.
I keep up with some guys I play with at Calgary, like Rambo and Nick Lewis.
Oh yeah.
I keep up with those guys. I talk to
Nice.
them often. Yeah.
Well, Nick Lewis, former guest of the show, and that sort of thing. So, it, again, I love it, and that's the camaraderie that football provides, right? It provides a sense of brotherhood that I would suggest that maybe some other sports don't.
Yeah, well, yes, football is probably the biggest team sport, obviously, and then some sports are individual sports,
Hmm.
but I think the team sports they have that camaraderie, like because I know some guys who play baseball, some guys who play basketball, and it's similar, very
Yeah,
similar. But obviously, track and field or golf, those individual sports is not as team oriented
right.
as football. But I would say football probably because you literally shed blood and tears with these guys, kind of like hockey. I would assume hockey is very similar to football
Yeah,
because it's a gladiator type sport.
yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's you see that at the junior level, right up to the
Yeah.
NHL, and these guys do have a brotherhood, especially when they when these guys live with you, and
Mhm.
you see all aspects of the player and that sort of thing. So, fascinating stuff. Were there any playing in the CFL? What were kind of your favorite stadiums to play in and that sort of thing? You did have some stops again with the Stamps, Bombers, Argos, etc. You came back to Winnipeg, played in the new stadium in 2014.
Yeah.
Uh, was there a particular stadium that kind of stood out to you? Maybe Regina in the Labor Day Classic, but I'll let you answer.
I when it was cold, just any of the domes. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, 'cause the weather in Canada was just it was crazy. But I would say my favorite to play in, I mean, because I just love Calgary. I love the team. I love but Winnipeg fans were good as well. But like I'm probably a little biased because I played longer at Calgary.
You did.
But definitely the Winnipeg fans.
Yeah.
They were just as good. But I love playing in Regina because just the atmosphere. It took me back to the college type atmosphere.
Hmm.
The tailgating, I mean, just the excitement of it was always packed.
Yeah.
You never had to worry about the game not selling out, especially, when they played Winnipeg. And then it was kind of a rivalry when I played with Calgary as well.
Hmm.
But if I had to pick a favorite, it was definitely the Calgary Stadium. And uh and I remember just doing practice, Huff, I forget what day it was, but it was always when we did, the loudspeaker that's
Hmm.
above the stadium, he
Yes.
always played Black Betty. And because I memorized that song just because we played it every week like it was clockwork.
Right, right. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Good. You mentioned Huffnagel, played with Doug, you were coached by Doug Barry, Mike Kelly. Any lessons, any memories from those guys that stood out to you?
Yeah, so the lesson I got from Huff, especially, because I had like, as you probably know, I'm surprised you didn't ask about this. I was traded during the game when I was with Winnipeg. So when I was traded with Winnipeg, I
Hmm.
was traded right after we played Montreal. I forget what week it was, but I found out that some people were talking about like that was negotiated during the game and stuff. And so like I basically got traded like the minute after the game. They came and grabbed me off the buses. That's like, hey, you're flying to Calgary and everybody else is flying home. You and RJ was traded. And yeah. So,
Okay,
but
this is coming. Was this the in September of 2009?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
September 2009.
a
And
quick, yeah. I
yeah.
remember I was driving somewhere as I was listening to the post game with Bob Irving on that one. So yes.
Yeah, so that happened. I'm assuming the trade and the discussions happened during the game, just hoping I wouldn't get hurt. But I had trust issues because like Mike made it seem like he wasn't trying to trade me, like I wasn't on the trading block. But
Right.
when I got to Calgary, I wouldn't say I was just a bad player. I was always a good player. You can trust me on and off the field,
Hmm.
but I didn't trust coaches. And Huff pulled me aside and was talking to me. He was like, "Hey, it seems like you have like trust issues or whatever." I forgot how he worded it. And me being how I am, I was like, "Yeah, I do. Like, I don't trust coaches." And he was like, "Why not?" And I mentioned that situation, mentioned others. So he was like, "Well, have I always shot it straight with you?" And I was like, "Yes." So he was like, "Well, have I ever done anything that caused you not to have trust?" I said, "No." Then he's like, "So why do you have an issue with me?" It made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was a lesson he taught me. Like, not to hold stuff against, because it was a totally new slate when I got there, and don't hold something against somebody that has zero to do with it.
Hmm.
And yeah, so Huff, I love Huff for that, and he was always a straight up honest dude, and in that cutthroat business.
Yeah. I mean that's how he appeared to be on TV being interviewed,
Yeah,
and so what you're saying is accurate. I remember the 2009 bomber. It was a very tumultuous year to say the least. You had Derek Armstrong wanting to
yeah.
get traded, Barron Simpson getting traded, the minister of defense. I'm like, what the Sam Hill's going on here?
Yeah, it
And
was it was an interesting year.
yeah,
Terrence toughed it out.
yes, Terrence
TE,
Edwards. Yeah.
yeah, he toughed it out. Yeah, but a lot of guys wanted some guys wanted out of there.
Hmm. Yeah, and then Paul Lapolice came in the next year and kind of retooled, and the Bombers were in the Grey Cup in 2011. So
Yeah.
it was a quick turnaround. Any rituals, superstitions that you had as a player?
Yeah, I always listen to the same I had the same soundtrack, or not soundtrack, but the same in the same order, listen to a soundtrack that I had made, or a list that I made. That was the one ritual that I had. It was a Bible verse that I always read.
Hmm.
The horses may prepare for ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. I
Yeah.
read that before every
Yeah.
game. So I would say those were the two rituals that I had on a consistent basis. And then I would add some stuff in there towards the end of my career. I used to go catch punts and kickoffs just for the heck of it,
Yeah.
just to get out there and have fun, and just to do something. But I wasn't a punt returner or a kick returner. But
So
I added that too.
yeah, yeah, added that to your repertoire,
Yeah.
so to speak. How did your faith play a role in your playing career?
Um, Playing for an audience of one, just knowing that putting your faith and full control in God, and just doing God's work and trying to speak his ministry through your play.
Yeah.
So as a child, I've been through a lot. So I needed that faith and yeah, needed that faith to get through it.
Mm,
So but I would say that probably kept me sane throughout my whole football career, because I always gravitated towards the chaplain, or the strong, like RJ was a strong believer on my
mhm.
team, and we are still tight to this day.
It's awesome.
So those were always the guys that looked out for me,
Yeah.
and saw my worth. So just having good people around you, and that's why I think I was a good teammate, and just a good player. I never was somebody who got in trouble off the field, was in the things I shouldn't be into, and a lot of that tied into my faith, because it kept me being a good professional. It's
Right.
one thing to be able to play football well, but you have to be a good professional as well. Because I played with guys who were better than me, but they wasn't professional. And I think having that faith and living right for God, for my father, helped with that.
Yeah, and we see that all the time. Well, often. I shouldn't see all, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
but
you, you, you wake up, you're like, okay, well, that player, like you turn on NFL Network, you're like, what's going on here? This doesn't add up, and it's like you have everything, and you're just blowing it away. Again, Charles Barkley says you guys aren't role models. He said, but you guys are. I mean,
yeah.
it's how it goes. Now that I have kids and take them to games, they look up to bombers and they look up to hockey players and whatever else. Heck, they look up to Steinbeck Pistons who were, um, you know, just teenagers. So, it's all part of that, right? And I like what you said, staying off the field. So you probably just ordered the Domino's off Empress Street and went to bed after a game or something.
Oh, yeah, I used to when I was with Winnipeg, I used to tell RJ, I forget what the road was, but I basically said once I cross this road, I'm not coming back across I'm not coming back across I forget what road it was, but I'm not leaving my house until I go to practice. So
Yeah,
once I got to that side of the road, I wasn't coming back out.
yeah.
But I mean, like being a believer, just you live to a standard. And
Hmm.
you want to up the, and it's the same thing in football. You obtain the standard of the team,
Yeah,
and you set the tone every day, and that's what you try to do as a believer too.
that's exactly it. That's very well said. Role models, mentors, in Romney Bryant's life.
Role models and mentors. So my mentor now, I have a mentor now. His name is Scott Turner. He's a former player, and just somebody that I admire who his second career, post football is just as big and as important as being a football player.
Mhm.
So I admire that about him. And he's just a good, authentic dude. And then as far as looking up to people, um, I looked up to my grandfather. He was an entrepreneur, owned a barbecue place, a restaurant for, I mean, my whole life. Most of my whole life. So he probably owned it close to 50 years. And they just recently sold it. But I looked up to him because he was just a good hard worker, put
Yeah,
his head down, didn't bother anybody. Just a good guy,
yeah,
good all around guy, dependable, reliable, everything I want to be.
nice. So after football, what kind of avenues have you taken? And I have an idea, but I'll let you tell the story. I have a
Yeah, so
sneak.
after football, I after football, I tried a lot of different things. I sold insurance for a little bit. For I had my own insurance agency. Then I went to work for a bank in the insurance in their insurance department. And then I went back to college because I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do. So I went
Okay.
back to get my master's at SMU to try to beef up my resume. While I was doing that, the NFL had this what they call it, like job shadowing, but it was all done virtual, where you sit in on this virtual job shadow. Someone from a company would come on and tell you about their day in the life. They have several people talk to you about working at this company. I've always wanted to get into medical sales post football because one of my good friends, he was in medical sales. And but every time I would interview with them, they said I had zero sales experience. So I wouldn't get the job. So the NFL had this job shadow, and it was Alcon as one of the companies. So I went on there, and they ended up hiring me. So I'm in medical sales now, and I've been doing it for the past 5 years now.
Nice.
And I hit President's Club last year, so I won President's Club. So being in the top 10% at the company is a that's
Nice.
very exciting. So President's Club is like going to the Pro Bowl or being voted CFL all being voted as a CFL all team or whatever.
I love
Yeah.
it. That term is familiar to me too. The company I work for, they have the President's Club, and in 2026, I'm trying to hit it. So
Also, yeah. So what do you do?
I sell furniture and appliances. So
Yeah.
it's through social media and everything else, people inbox me, text me, and so we've been doing it for, it's hard to believe, 17 years in in the same community.
Yeah.
You do establish rapport, so people do know who you are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's a
yeah,
big deal hitting President's Club. I hope you get it.
yeah, thank you.
It's a big deal.
It would be a big deal. I'll be honest. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna apologize for that.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. Yeah, it was a big deal
Mhm.
because it was tough to do, but I was very excited to hit it.
I mean, look, that's where it gave you opportunity, right, to
Mhm.
excel and everything else. And I think some athletes, again, I try to not use the obvious terms, but you know what I'm saying, like football players, Rodney Harrison, he's known to, sit in a dark room for days on end. I mean, this guy played in Super Bowl 42 and take your pick. Some guys struggle after football, and I think it's important that football players kind of get their footing of what is next, because football don't last forever.
Yeah, and I get why, because I struggled, don't get me wrong, but luckily I was introduced to my chaplain at Baltimore. He was one of the first guys to introduce me to counseling, like real, like counseling, talking to somebody about, helping you process your thoughts. So
Hmm.
once I got introduced to counseling, I mean, I'm not afraid to talk to somebody about what's going on up here.
Right, right.
But I get why a lot of guys struggle because just think about it. Most of us been playing football since we were kids.
Yeah,
And that's where we found our worth at. That's where we found our identity at. And it's not our identity, but we think it is.
yeah,
And so when you lose it like that, you don't know what else to do, and you're used to getting everything, that concierge service that you have when you're an NFL player or a CFL player. And when that's all gone, people don't, I mean, I wouldn't say people don't care about you, but you're not as important as you once was. And I remember, I forget what Grey Cup it was. It was when it was in Calgary, and they invited me. It was like Life Choice Dynamics. Is a guy named Jake or Jack.
hmm,
He invited me and Stevie Bass to come talk to some people about our career or whatever. And I remember talking to these doctors, and I asked them, I was like, imagine if you've been practicing as a doctor since you were a kid. You had your own practice. And then you did it all the way into your 30s. And out of nowhere, someone said, you can't be a doctor anymore. What would you do with your life? And I had several doctors come up to me afterwards. And then they answered then. They was like, I wouldn't know what to do. And I was like, that's pretty much the life of a football player. Like, just think about it. They've been playing since they were a kid. They went to high school, college, played in the NFL, CFL, wherever. And then out of nowhere, they lose their career.
yeah.
And I had a doctor come up to me and he was like, I never thought of it like that. And he was like, if I lost my practice right now, I wouldn't know what to do with my career after this. So
Yeah.
I can see why guys struggle mentally after football.
Hmm. Because yeah, it's all the attention, the media,
Yeah.
etc. And then what, right? So um we joke what Kelsey will do after retirement. He'll go on tour with Taylor, but it's
Yeah.
but even Jason Kelsey, I mean, okay, he's up in Winnipeg shooting a movie. He's everywhere shopping. He was at the, you know, shopping for TVs and whatever at the Brick, or, just. But I've watched it too, and it's like, hey, like, no, these guys struggle with the meaning, and it is fascinating because I think a lot of us fall into the trap that these guys have no problems. right? It's
Yeah.
just, well, you make money.
It
It
made
don't that
millions
don't
and
matter,
it don't matter. Like yeah, it doesn't matter. You hear about it with CEOs that lose their job and they go broke because of this. You hear it with actors. It's just not exclusive to athletes.
right?
It's just unfortunate that football has one of the biggest brands, so the media concentrates on us a little bit more than other people.
Hmm.
But every industry deals with it. But it's just unfortunate that we get I guess the bad rap for it. But yeah, man, it is a struggle though. And mentally it can be a struggle. And then you still struggle. I still struggle with it from here and there. Like with identity crisis or imposter syndrome. Like thinking I'm not good enough to be this. I'm just this
Hmm.
dumb football jock.
Okay. Hmm.
But I've heard of big name guys who retire and they say they struggle afterwards mentally. They might not struggle as far as financially, but like with what to do with their lives.
Right.
And some people think these guys are not working. You just mentioned Jason. He's working. He's doing the movie, right?
Yeah.
So
Sticks
that's
and
work.
stones.
Yeah, that's working. He's commentating or in
Yeah.
commercials. Like
Right.
these guys are working. It's not like they're because they want to keep the same lifestyle that they have. Like anybody would go broke if they just sit around and did nothing. And the guys I mean, maybe the 1% of the 1% of guys who can actually say, I don't have to work after I retire.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, name me a Hall of Famer who just recently retired that's not working. They're doing something to bring some type of revenue in.
Well, I mean, you look at NFL Countdown on ESPN. I mean, there's Mike Greenberg, and then there's Alex Smith, there's Teddy Bruschi.
Working. They're
There's
just
five or
doing
six. It's like
yeah.
insane.
They're actually working. Yeah, they get paid to do that. It's not like it's a job.
Right.
They're showing up not yeah. So these guys are working because I've had people when I first retired from football,
Hmm.
I actually had people say, "Why do you have to work? You played in the NFL." I was like, I was there for a short stint. And then, I played in CFL. Didn't you not make enough money not to? No, I did not.
Yeah.
Most guys don't make enough money. Just think
I
about it.
think
You
the dollar
retire.
was 75 cents at the time, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what's that. But yes, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Most guys don't make I mean, most guys, what the average career is 3 years.
3.5. Yeah.
Yeah, 3.5 years or something like that.
Something
You
like that.
might make a few $1 million. So
Right.
you're saying I guess, say if you played until you're 25, 26, I can live off a few $1 million for the rest of my life? No,
No.
I'm gonna have to get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Right.
just
I just had Chris
okay.
Dishman on, and you kind of look it over. You're like, well, he's 60 years old. He's the head coach of Texas Southern. He's doing his thing, and
Yeah,
implementing what he all learned from football. And yeah, that's a complete myth. That you played in the NFL. What? Yeah, exactly. Um, because it don't last forever.
yeah, it doesn't like the NFL, like they said, is not for long,
Yeah.
and definitely stands for not financially liable for you.
Right.
Yeah, once we're done with you.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's exactly it. Was there anything else you would like to talk about that I haven't covered yet, Romney? This has been awesome. This has been so good.
No, I mean, I'm in medical sales and I also speak on the side. That's something that I'm doing now. I've always spoke like when people ask me to come speak, like the guy at Calgary when they asked me to come speak, and people often ask me to come speak to kids, go speak to kids. I would do it, but now I want to turn it into a true business, something I want to do on the side and speak about my experience. I have an interesting background, was still able to make it and play professional football for 10 years and then transition well into corporate America. and then win President's Club. And I just want to talk about the leadership qualities I learned from people like Huff, even like Mike Kelly. People you learn from people who might not be considered a good leader too. You learn what not to do, you know, and you learn lessons like I mean, you have to as a in corporate America, sometimes you have to work for bosses that are not good bosses. And I even if I could go back and play for Coach Kelly again, maybe I wouldn't be as rebellion as I was with him because in my mind, maybe I didn't think he was a good leader, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm not going to be professional and show up and play to my best standard. So just talking about things like that and to organizations and to kids.
Well, you know what? As I'm thinking here, if you're ever in the Winnipeg area, there are a few places I'd love to for you to come speak. It would be good.
I'll hold you up to that. I make it up to Winnipeg. Like I told you, I went to the Grey Cup. It was the time when it was in Calgary,
Was it the
and they
2019 Grey Cup when the Bombers won?
yeah, I think it was the 2019. Let me wonder because Stevie, Milt, and we all took a picture because Milt was there. It must have been the 2019 because it was before COVID, so it had to be. How many times has it been in Calgary since I retired? So I retired
Uh,
in 2014.
yeah, 2014. It was in BC.
No, since I retired. So like
Yeah,
after 2014,
yeah.
how many
2015 was
times? Yeah,
Winnipeg.
so
2016 Toronto. 2017 Ottawa. 2018 Edmonton. 2019 Calgary.
yeah, so it had to be
Whew.
2019.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got a memory there. So
I
it had
try.
to be the 2019. It was Stevie and I that went up there. And I think even no, we ended up meeting with Keon, but Keon didn't go speak with the doctors with Stevie Bags and I.
I see.
But yeah, Stevie Bags and I were two of the people that went up there and spoke with some doctors
Right
and some
on.
people.
So I got to tell you then. So you're there with Milt. You're watching that Grey Cup and seeing the Bombers win the Grey Cup. What kind of went through your head when seeing them win the Grey Cup in 2019 then?
I was happy for him.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy that's like, I wish it was me and not them. Like, I was happy for him. I had my opportunity with Calgary in
2012.
2011 or 2012. Yeah, 2012 when we lost to Toronto.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I was happy for the guys. You know,
Yeah.
uh, I wish we would have won it in Winnipeg because I think our 2018, I love that team. I felt like we were special. We had three 1,000-yard receivers, and then our uh 2010 team with Calgary, we did the same thing where we had three 1,000-yard receivers.
Hmm.
And that year 2010, that year was special with Calgary.
Yeah.
We had a lot of we almost broke a lot of records that year for Calgary. That was a fun year for us. Our heads were way too big that year. Yeah, Keon, Nick,
Nick.
me, Ray J, RJ. I mean, I said Ray J, RJ, then Cornish and Joff
Hmm.
and Hank. Yeah, we had
Yeah,
fun. BB, Brandon Browner. Yeah, we had some fun that year.
that's crazy. So good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good to go back and reminisce and just realize, the talent that was on the field and some of those games and journeys of those teams. I mean, uh, pretty crazy stuff. And again, can't believe it's been that long ago, but here we are.
I know. I can't. Yeah, I can't believe it either. Yeah. What do you think about the CFL game now? Has there been a lot of rule changes?
Well,
And
hey, it's coming in 2027.
yeah,
I just really hope they don't change it. Like when I go to a CFL game, I never worry about the lack of scoring.
yeah.
I find a 14-10 game in the CFL just as exciting. And there's this idea that they're trying to Americanize it and they're gonna get rid of the 55-yard line and all of that.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and they're going to shorten the end zones to 15 yards.
Yeah, I heard that one. I heard that part about
Yeah,
the shortening the end
yeah,
zones. I didn't know about the 50-yard, 55-yard line. I know
yeah.
they were getting rid of it.
Milt has actually tweeted about it. He's excited about the changes. So, um, that to me that's everybody's entitled to their opinion. So we'll see we'll see how this goes. Just I'm a season ticket holder, and so I'm just kind of wondering how that's going to look for me. I'll be in the upper deck there, and where that
Yeah,
yard line will be. But um, I still think there's great talent in the CFL. There may be,
it is.
eh, yeah, the quarterback position that may struggle a bit right now compared to when you guys played. I mean, there was Cavillo and there was Burris and there Darian Durant. There was a bunch.
And
And who, sorry?
Ray,
Yeah, Ricky Ray. Yes, of
yeah,
course.
Ricky Ray, yeah,
Keith
yeah, yeah,
Rivers
yeah.
and
It was some dogs. Yeah,
there
quarterbacks.
were,
I will say we had some dogs at quarterback when I
yeah,
was there
yeah,
in
that's
the
right.
CFL.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you played in the 2012 Grey Cup, right? So,
yeah.
Ricky Ray there, the one and two, yeah.
And I
Wow.
played with him for 1 year.
Which year was that again?
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
was in
2013.
2013. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I broke my ribs that year, so I only got to play in like 2 games
Hmm.
because I broke my ribs in a preseason game. Ricky catching balls from Ricky Ray was like an extended handoff. Them things came in soft. It was just so easy to catch. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
But
good.
yeah, yeah. But as far as the game change, I guess I would need to know why. Because if they're trying to make it more exciting, then maybe. But
Right.
I like the game the way it was because, being receiver, having a waggle,
Hmm.
the CFL game is built, it seems like it's built to help the offense because, like you say, you never have to worry about scoring
No.
because but if they're trying to slow the game down, I don't know. Like you say, you're trying to Americanize it. Uh, I don't, I like the NFL too. To me, the NFL, people don't like defensive games. I don't mind defensive games.
Yeah, love defensive games.
Yeah.
And now the NFL, some games are so out of control. It's like, really? Like, there has to be some defense, but now they've
Yeah.
created rules where like, okay, the hip tackle and this and that. It's really catered to the offenses.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, some of them hits and things that be going on, me as a receiver, I'll be like, that's BS.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, like that's just a bang bang play. It's part of football.
Right. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I think there's more to this with the CFL. I think expansion is on the horizon, but like, I think there's some mixed messages.
Yeah.
We're told that only three teams make money, and then you're doing all these rule changes. You only have a TV deal for 2027. Like, TSN doesn't have the rights after this year. I'm sure something is going to get done, and then the new president, he's formerly from TSN, and as someone on the page has said, the on my on my podcast has said, it's the messaging's actually gotten worse. Like they go dark all off season. Nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So you just kind of
So
wonder, like, are you going to put a team in San Antonio again? I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Only three teams make money. What is it? Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, and who's the third?
Yeah, probably BC, maybe.
Yeah. I would assume Saskatchewan and Winnipeg are two
Yeah,
of the three. I would assume that, especially Saskatchewan.
yeah.
And Winnipeg has a pretty good, like I have a Winnipeg family that I love, the Fossies.
The bosses,
Fossies.
bossies, okay,
Yeah. They
nice.
yeah. Yeah. I yeah, so I have family. I consider Winnipeg
Mhm.
my family. I have family there.
A lot of guys that play in Winnipeg will say that, and maybe maybe that's because I've had a lot of you guys on, but it's, Fred Rita said the same thing. Um, uh, Albert Johnson the third has said the same thing. So, uh, yeah, when you find these families and these niches, if you're in Winnipeg, you know where to stay.
Yeah, they came to my wedding. I went to one of the son's weddings.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah. I still keep up with them. The Curl Fawcett, she keeps up with me the most. But yeah, she worked at I lived with her sons.
Oh yeah,
And that might be another reason why, especially Winnipeg, I mean not Winnipeg, but just CFL in general, why guys get so tight because when we lived there, a lot of times we're roommates.
right.
And it's almost like a college feeling, but at the same time, professional, football. But in the NFL, you're not roommating with anybody. You have your own spot. A lot of times when you leave the facility, you're not talking to the guys. It wasn't like that in the CFL.
Mm-mm.
And it wasn't like that with some teams in the NFL. Like when I played with the Ravens, it definitely wasn't like that. We did everything in bunches.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you're saying Robert Gordon was Milt's roommate, and Milt would always be like, "I'm not going out." And then,
Oh,
but
yeah.
anytime he come back, he goes, "What are the guys up to?" wanting to
Yeah.
wanting to get the lowdown. So,
I definitely looked up the milk when I played, even though I only played 1 year with him.
hmm
He showed me what a true professional was like. Him, RJ,
yeah,
those guys, they didn't go out. And I'd be lying to you. I went out a little bit, but I wasn't a drinker like that. I
right.
wasn't like I didn't do drugs, drink or anything. I wasn't crazy like that. But but those guys really didn't go out and do
Yeah.
anything. Milt and RJ.
Well, I think that was the year that Milt's family actually moved up because it was debatable whether he was going to come back for that year in 2008. And
Mhm.
glad that he did. Yeah, I think that's his son Colin was actually born in Winnipeg, and so um, yeah, and again there's a guy I think from what I've gathered he mentored a lot of you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah, Milt did. Yeah. I wanted to my first year in Winnipeg, I wanted to because it was just such a culture shock. I was okay with quitting football. If I didn't make the team, I probably would have like been done after that. But I'm glad I didn't. But
For sure.
Milt, yeah, he took me underneath his wing and just showed me how to be a professional up there.
Nice.
And then we just had that coaching change and everything went down south. But I mean, it's stuff happens. Like I said, I probably would be a different player if I could go back and do it again.
Right.
But I'm happy I met Huff too, because Huff truly was a coach that was honest as you can be as far as in professional football. Because a lot of guys would, for lack of better terms, they'll piss on your leg and tell you it's raining.
Right.
And Huff wasn't like that. He was a straight shooter, and you had to respect that about him.
I mean, he did coach with the Giants a bit, I think, prior to that with Eli Manning and that sort of thing. And he was a coach in Calgary, prior offensive coordinator in the mid 90s. So he knew the culture there in Calgary. And, as you
Yeah.
said here, you know, straight shooter for sure. So, that's good. You would have every reason to think, hey, yeah,
Yeah.
based on some experiences, hey, maybe not to extend the arm too far.
Yeah, and even Dave, he was a good guy. Dave wasn't the head coach when I was there, but Dave is a real good guy. Dickerson, like he
Dickerson,
was
yeah,
I like Dave. Yeah, he was a real good guy. I mean, that coaching staff at Calgary, they're all good guys. You know what I mean? Like they were just good people outside of just
right,
football.
yeah,
And then but my one of my favorite coaches up there too is Coach Dice. Coach Dice at
love him.
Winnipeg, like I was really sad to leave him. And that's really my guy. I still keep up with Coach Dice.
Well, you do,
Coach Dice is
okay.
really, yeah, oh, yeah. I still keep up. Yeah, Coach Dice is my guy. Yeah, he looked out for me. Like I didn't want to leave Winnipeg because of him.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he's one of the main reason I stayed. I'm sad. I'm mad that I didn't bring him up sooner in
Mhm.
our interview because he's like family.
Yeah, I've had a few conversations with him just you know in public or whatever. I think I met him at the Forks once, and he just you know he took time for me. He wanted to know who I was, so I get you on that one. And obviously, you know him a lot better than me, and
Yeah.
I've wanted to get him on the show, but my wife thinks I'd like to get everybody on the show. Uh,
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's awesome because again, coaches that care, those are the ones you remember and you know
Yeah.
stick out to you and you know see you more than just a football player, but as the person as the whole. Just
Yeah.
so.
Again, Coach Dice understood who I was as a player,
Hmm.
and he didn't treat me any different. Like, because I was reserved and kind of stuck to myself and I'm blunt,
Hmm.
people can take that as having a bad attitude. But I was just straight up guy. Like, like meaning like direct guy.
Yeah.
And being direct, they can rub some coaches the wrong way. It didn't bother Coach Dice. And he understood me. And that same thing with Huff. I think they just understood me. And so that's why I respect the heck out of them too.
Yeah. Most definitely. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I said 30, 40 minutes,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah, it flew by. Yeah, it's
it
10,
it
20
did. I
here.
always want I want to be respectful, all
Yeah.
of that, and but you know this has been good. I really appreciate you coming on, Romney, and sharing your story and sharing your CFL journey. And as I say, if you're ever in the Winnipeg area, we'll do a coffee or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you up to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. And hey, if you ever want to come speak at my church, we can do that too.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna hold you up to that.
I'll talk to the people I need to.
All right.
And we'll go from there. But the Jets Bombers the Faith Night with Lauren Coral when the Jets and the Bombers come out, that's always a good night. So I don't know if Sergio Castillo lives close to you, but he always has the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand.
Oh,
It's a good time. But, yeah.
yeah. And Lauren still sends me devotions and
Oh, he does.
I read them. Yeah. I
Right
still
on.
yeah. Yeah, Lauren, that's my guy. Like he's a chaplain that I love.
Hmm.
Yeah, Lauren still sends me devotions every morning.
Oh, wow. Hmm.
Hmm.
That's good.
Yeah, I like Lauren. Baseball guy. Do they still have the farm team there?
Yeah, they have the gold eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
he used to do some stuff with them, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's all over. And well, well, there's the Moose, there's the Jets,
yeah.
Bombers. Yeah. So, yeah,
Tell him I say, hey, you still keep up with him?
pardon, sorry.
I said, do you still talk to him like in person?
In person, I saw him at the Faith Night, and then yeah, I
Yeah.
actually tried to call him this week. So I had somebody say, "Hey, can we get a player out? Can we get a player out to come talk to speak at a men's breakfast?" So I guess, Lord,
Yeah.
if you hear this, I'm still waiting, but it's all good. You're a busy guy, right? So,
Yeah. I bet he is.
but that's awesome. All these years later, he still sends you devotions.
Yeah.
I've been bringing faith up more in my interviews. I don't apologize for it because my son, every night before bed, he always wants his mom to read him a devotional. And it's those things like that's the investment and that's what counts for eternity.
Yeah.
Totally. So
Yeah.
good. Love it. Well, I'll put this on my page after. It's public so you can see it and I will
Yeah.
put this
Tag me
on
in
you.
and I share it too. I
Yeah,
share
yeah,
this.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And we'll go from there. It's awesome.
All right.
Okay.
All
You
right.
take
Appreciate you,
care.
Steve.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
no
Take care.
worries. Yeah, take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Peace.